I think it's also important that businesses think about how they can start to spark cultural change in the workplace. So it's not just about, you know, having a CEO who takes parental leave, which is really important, but it's also about training mid-level managers to really understand why is this important, and why is it true that a lot of times having employees who are parents, they end up becoming better employees. They end up becoming more productive, and in a lot of ways learn a lot of skills as being parents that can be translatable to the workplace. So it shouldn't be seen as a negative when people take leave to care for their children, or when people take on flexible scheduling. So really educating mid-level managers to understand why this is important.
There are many strategies that the public, private, and government sector can take to help mitigate some of this inequality in unpaid work responsibilities. The private sector, for example, can establish gender-equal workplace policies like paid family leave for both women and men in equal amounts, so that mothers and fathers together can take time that is paid from work to care for their kids. This makes fathers more invested in the family and their children, and it also increases retention among mothers. It increases their labor force attachment and increases their earnings over time. All important outcomes if we want to break this cycle for women.
One of the real weaknesses, both with our research and just with researching this in general, is that the data that we need to understand what's really working isn't as strong as it could be. So if I could do anything different, or if I could improve anything in the future in terms of our work, I would really like to work with other organizations like the UNDP to help set up better data, better databases, better ability to collect and to follow efforts and initiatives over time, so that we can really understand what works and what doesn't work and why.
So yes, we're happy. We're doing lots of things around gender. However, we felt we still have a gap somewhere, which we feel the gender seal will be able to close. We looked at the fact that as the management team, what is that tool that will create more commitment for us to take deliberate action towards gender equality? And that's why we said, no, let's go for this seal. Because one, we need management to take full accountability for every initiative that calls for gender equality. We want to be able to be held accountable for whatever we do at the end of the day. But we also want the females to understand themselves and actually believe in their potential and capability. Not to feel like, okay, fine, for example, we have leaders, we have 50%, but then we are saying as females, let's be females and actually do a very good job. Let's have an impact on the bottom line as females without changing into men, without dressing like men, without voicing like men. It will help every organization out there become an employer of choice. Because by the generations to come knowing that, you know, this is a company that drives gender equality, they will definitely say, you know, I'll take my child to work there. If it's a husband, they'll be very comfortable to actually have their wives, for example, working in the banking sector without thinking of sexual harassment, etc., etc. So yes, and once you're the employer of choice, you're sure that retention and attraction of good talent will happen automatically. Then business growth, definitely. If you have staff who all believe that there's equal gender treatment, they will be loyal to the organization. It will improve their relationships with their spouses. Because yes, once you know that my wife or my husband is working for a company that treats them equally, then you're comfortable. You have no questions around it. So I urge all companies out there and all countries to actually pursue this, because it's the right way to do business. It has ceased to be just best practice.
Diversity is no longer considered an HR program. It is considered an integral component of IBM's corporate strategy. It's no longer considered just a corporate policy, because corporate policies change, they evolve with the times. it is now considered a guiding principle in the IBM Corporation. With 385,000 employees operating in 170 countries, it is our objective to create a all-diverse and inclusive environment from which our ideas and perspectives thrive in the spirit of innovation.
My team, the computer science and media team at Google, has been making great strides to work with Hollywood to show that the perception of computer science and tech can reveal that there are women in these roles and that they can do them just as aptly as men. We work with a variety of partners to ensure that greater diversity is shown on screen in both the STEM and tech and computer science world.
Some of the challenges we have, it includes looking for women at different ages, in different countries, with different backgrounds, that are willing sometimes to serve in our local offices only, but more challenging having an international career. And that is what we are all working for in order to create that inclusive environment and address those challenges that they may have when they join.
We believe that UNTP SEAL certification program will support for your commitment on gender equality, because this program emphasizes the accountability for you, especially for top management level.